Hi guys, welcome to another Pike fly tying video, and this one is going to be an introductory sort of bunny pattern. So what I'm going to do is tie a pike bunny, but I'm going to keep it on a size 2.0 on a fly about 4.5-ish inches long. So not overly huge, and you could probably use it to get yourself into pike fishing. If you didn't want to go and set up with all the gear to begin with, you could start with a standard reservoir type 9 to 10 foot, I'd say at least a 7 weight rod to make this work. So if you have anything above a 7 weight and in that kind of range, all you'd have to do is get yourself a bit of a stronger leader and some sort of a biting trace for the end of it, and it would allow you to give pike fly fishing a go. So let's move into the video, the intro pike bunny. Hi guys, welcome back. Tonight we're going to tie a little simple pike fly. It's a smallish pike fly. This is a Sakuma 470 Top Gun in a size 2.0, and there's very few materials in this, so we're going to have a little bit of flash, a couple of strips of rabbit, and a little bit of craft fur. So first things first, we're going to attach our tying thread onto the hook. And I'm just going to take the super glue and get that attached on. And we're going to use big bead chain A's. Now these are probably a 4 to 5 mil size bead chain. So if I take that and set it on top and then spin it around to the underneath of our hook, and figure of 8 wrap through that, and we get wraps on to hold it in place. Then what we'll do is to soak that whole thing in super glue, and that'll set it in place. So as I said, not many materials. First we're going to use a strip of white zonker rabbit. This is a fairly wide strip, maybe about 7 or 8 mil. So what I'm going to do, put on, let it envelop around the hook and tie back to maybe about the level of the barb. And then I'm going to cut this off so there's only maybe 2 inches or so of it behind the hook. Now this is more to support the tail than anything. And it'll also give a little bit of a taper to it because the top strip is going to be longer than this one. So next we use a bit of flash. So this is like a silvery flashaboo. So if we take maybe 5 or so strands of that, and then what we're going to do is tie that on out to the length that we intend the tail to be, and then fold it back on itself. And then I'm going to trim this off, and I'm going to keep this little bunch of tag ends here. So these are maybe about 1.5 inches or 2 long. So now we're going to put on another strip of rabbit on top of this. So this one's slightly longer than the one that went before it. Set that on top and tie it back to there. So to secure all this in, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some super glue on maybe 2 or 3 inches of my tying thread here and wrap into that. So you can see the longer strip on top, shorter one underneath, gives us this sort of taper, and when that gets wet, that'll all sort of taper in on itself. So to finish the fly, we're going to do a little dubbing loop involving a bit of red craft fur, take off a bunch of that, hold it by the tips and pull out the shorter, less useful underfur. I'm going to just set that down on my table here. And then I'm going to take a bunch of like a silver grey craft fur. And do the same thing with it. I'll set it down beside that, and then these couple of little bits that we cut off the tail flash I'm going to set on top of the red portion. So these are laid flat on my desk now, hard to see, but next I've got one of these sort of, I think it's a food clip bag, and I'm going to just slide it along and put my bunches of craft fur. You can see here the little flashy bits in that. Then we're going to take maybe 10 inches or so of our tying thread. So if we take our loop here and then we take the craft fur that I've put into this clip, slide it into the loop, red portion first, release the clip, and then what I'm going to do here is I have this coffee frother that I've cut the end off and then made it into a hook, and I'll clip that into the loop. That'll allow the loop, two edges of the loop then to be close together, and then I hit the button and it will spin into a dubbing loop here, and then I'll take a brush and brush out the dubbing brush, and then what I want to do is to stroke it back onto one side, almost to make it into like a hackle as such. Take our tying thread to the front of the fly, and then we wrap the red portion that gives us like a trigger point as such, and then we'll wrap the grey portion in front of it, and that'll create the sort of head effect. Take that up to behind the eyes, and tie it off. And we want to finish this off, so a few loops around that, and then we'll create like a half hitching effect in behind the eyes there. And cut that off too. So now all that remains to do is we'll take the brush and brush out the dubbing brush section there. Or finish doing that. Hold it back, take our super glue and just put that onto the finish. So hopefully that inspires some of you to give it a go. Simple little fly, it's what, 4 inches ish, so most people should be able to attempt that one and cast it even on standard heavy reservoir gear, like if you were just trying pike fly fishing for a day. Now it probably will target jacks more than big fish, but you never know. You put it in front of a pike, it'll have a go at it. So if you like what you see, like, subscribe, check out my other videos, and until next time, tight lines, and thanks for watching.